What's up, guys? It's Red here again, and it's about day 3 or 4 into this Grinch leak. I've honestly lost track, and it seems like both sides are at a standstill for right now. It's hard to push forward right now without getting more information, it seems. The hot topic of debate right now is between the insider sources. Papagenos has a source that has been saying things, and then there are a ton of other Nintendo insiders, I use that term loosely, that all have opinions on the matter. There's Incineroar, Madness, it's just a whole mess right now. So this video is going to be running over some of my thoughts, as well as some things I found interesting while checking this stuff out over the past couple days. So one of the first things I want to talk about was that, again, this leaker's supposed real name has gotten out to the public, and ever since then people have been asking, whose man is this? Now, the first company he worked at, Marina PLV, they quickly came out and they said, that's not our bands. They released this whole statement about how they aren't involved with this, and the person in question used to work for them, but he's been gone for almost 2 years now. So they quickly just wanted to shut down any kind of conversation around them specifically, and since that has happened, many people have been expecting a similar statement from the current company the leaker is working at right now, ACP. Now, ACP has yet to say much on the matter. They haven't released a statement similar to Marina, and people have already begun speculation that since they aren't saying anything, they're under NDA and they can't say anything. That means they are guilty and the leak is true. But it's important to think about things from ACP's perspective, as well as how they may be viewing the situation. They may view this whole ordeal as a lose-lose situation. If they don't say anything, then obviously people are going to assume the leak is true. And if they do say something, people may view them as just trying to cover up for themselves and their employee. It's important to remember, people always try to twist words to fit their own narrative. So I have no doubt, even if ACP came out and said something, people would try to pass it off as a cover up. So for them, they may view it as, again, a just lose-lose situation. Because the difference with ACP and Marina is that the leaker doesn't work at Marina anymore, whereas it was confirmed that he was still working at ACP at the time. So no one is going to suggest that Marina is covering anything up, as the guy's been long departed. But that's not the same for ACP. So either way, I don't think we can gather too much from the whole situation. It's just, again, mainly for speculation. But an interesting development with it over the past 24 hours is that both of the LinkedIn accounts that were linked to the leaker have gone down. They're no longer on the web, they're missing, so someone has taken them down, whether it was the leaker themselves or the companies made him take them down, or whatever the case may be, they are gone. It did take, though, 4 days for them to go down as well, so there is that. But again, I don't think we can learn too much from this, but it is definitely something to talk about and to think about. Now, another interesting thing going down this weekend is the MCM London Comic Con, and a user on Reddit posted a very brief but funny video where you can see that there was Grinch promotional material at one of the Nintendo booths. Now, people jumped onto that immediately, but with some research, it's easy to see that the entire convention is also covered with Grinch promo material, even down to the VIP badges that are being used for the event. So again, don't use this as a direct link between Nintendo and the Grinch movie, but it is definitely thought-provoking that the leak showed us this Grinch promo material next to Smash Bros, and then we get this Grinch promo material all over the place at the Comic-Con. So an actual possibility is that the ACP company was contracted to do promo material for this entire event. I think that is plausible, not definite, but certainly not far-fetched to think they could have been involved with this promo material. And from there, I want to highlight something that I don't see too many people talking about, and that is that Nintendo actually has a fairly decent relationship with Illumination, the studio behind making this upcoming Grinch movie. Nintendo and Illumination are actually partnering up to make a Super Mario movie that is going to be released sometime in the near future, and there's a quote from Miyamoto that I want to read out. I've been considering an animated film for many years now. There has long been talk that Nintendo could make a movie because making a game is like making a movie, but they are completely different to me. Interactive experiences are completely different from non-interactive media. And to make a movie, I want a film expert to do the work. Thinking that way, I have talked with all sorts of different movie directors and producers, and eventually I was introduced to Illumination via Universal Park and Resorts, with whom we are developing theme park attractions. As a producer, Chris Meledandri, Illumination's CEO, is noted here for movies like Minions and Sing, but he is a veteran with ton of experience, including the movie Ice Age and stints at companies like 20th Century Fox Animation. When I talked with Chris, he said he had read a lot of interviews with me and felt we had a similar approach to creation. Talking about our similarities, we clicked and decided maybe we should do some kind of collaboration. We started our conversation over 2 years ago and finally reached the stage where we could make an announcement. Chris is extremely cost conscious and time conscious in his quest to make successful movies. We decided to try and make a movie together and distributing the completed movie globally through Universal Pictures. So it's clear to see that Nintendo and Miyamoto have formed some sort of trusting bond with this studio Illumination, and they respect each other and seem to view creating things in a similar light, and this relationship has been going on for at least 2 years now. Knowing that, it makes me a bit more accepting of the idea that these two companies could be using the same printing location for promo material. Not definitive proof, but definitely opens my mind up to the idea, as it shows a working relationship is already in place, and it's not too unbelievable that they may have suggested using ACP to each other one way or the other. Now I want to do a bit of talking and examining about the banner itself, and shout out to It Was Raccoons on Reddit, because they've made a case for the leak being real. As many probably know by now, the thoughts that have been circulating around the leak is that the mural pictures that were leaked have been under speculation for both being a hanging decoration as well as parts looking like they could be used for some bracelets of some sort. Well, Raccoons says, I want to bring up two things about the Grinch leak that I haven't seen discussed yet, things which I think lend in favor of it being a real leak. Both of these things would have required even more effort to fake. First, take a closer look at the leaked image. There's at least 2 additional bracelets. They are neatly lined up and it seems like they're wrapped in plastic packaging. You can even see a reddish area underneath the main bracelet Switch logo, suggesting there's another Switch logo hidden under the paper from another bracelet. Either this is a sheet of bracelets wrapped up and ready for distribution, or these details took even more effort for the leaker to fake. Second, remember this leak came from a video. Take a look at the original leak consisting of 2 frames from this video. Both frames have completely different content, no common papers at all, so the camera was obviously moving, possibly even capturing walls or other parts of the office/desk space, especially the area on the desk between these 2 frames, possibly even more things related to Smash and the Grinch or graphic design materials. If this leak is fake, then the leaker would have had to go through even more effort to make the office and desk space look like it belonged to someone working at a graphic design office that's dealing with Smash Grinch materials. Otherwise, anyone seeing the video would be able to see/screen grab any number of other frames. And if those frames contain things like, say, someone's bed or a desk that's completely empty besides just these few papers, then all the effort of this leak would have been debunked before it even started. They bring up some interesting points that I myself do agree with. The part about the full video coming out and exposing the whole thing is to me a very good point. If it was just a random room and parts of that video came out that exposed that it was not actually this facility and it was not actually this graphic designer's desk, then the whole leak would be dead in the water immediately. Now the part about the bracelets seems a bit more sketch to me. I'm not 100% sold on this whole bracelet idea and that they are bracelets just because of the design. Bracelets aren't typically designed in a one-size-fits-all manner, as obviously people have very different wrist sizes. Because of that, you often see wristbands that appear like this with the holes as to cater to a wider range of audience. However, if this were a wristband, it would seem to imply that with the pieces on both ends, it would be a one-size-fits-all design. So I'm not really sold on that part just yet, but I do think you could still use the same logic if it was the hanging decoration and it was multiple, ones being printed with possibly different designs even on some of them. But from there, I want to look at the banner itself. I think there is so much attention to detail in this banner and it just feels very Sakurai. The placements and expressions of the characters just seem to be so planned out. For instance, think about and compare some of these things. I'm going to have the leaked banner at the top and the current real Nintendo banner at the bottom. The first thing I want to observe is Jigglypuff. She has had this current location on every iteration of the real Smash banner so far now, but she just seems a little bit off. In her current state, it almost seems like she's being commanded or controlled by the Pokemon trainer rather than being her own unique character. The leaked banner solves this problem and has her moved over to a spot where she breaks free from that. And again, I want to reiterate that she's been in this same location for every single, iteration of the Smash banner so far, so it hasn't, looked like she's going to be moving anytime soon. Now let's look over at the hypothetical Chorus Kids placement. The attention to detail again seems to be there as they appear to be freaking out over the butterfly that the villager is attempting to catch. An interesting and funny thing to add, but we see similar cases in the actual banner where Wario and possibly DDD seem to be afraid of the Pokemon that are just to the left of them. Then there's Banjo and Kazooie. With a closer look to the face of Kazooie, there seems to be either some fear or a look of concern towards either Lucas's rope snake or the real snake holding a rocket launcher that is right behind them. Either way, again, it's attention to detail and a nice little touch. Next, some cool symmetrical things. As you see within the real banner, Simon and Richter appear almost symmetrically on the opposite ends of the banner. Their placement is very similar. And again, look at Ice Climbers and the Duck Hunt duo, classic NES characters who also operate in pairs, both placed in similar places on the opposite ends of the banner. We can see a similar thing actually going on in the leaked banner with Shadow's placement. It's very similar to the placement of Meta Knight, and both of those characters have similar personalities in their respective games, often viewed as a villain converted to anti-hero of sorts. All that without even going into the detail of Isaac possibly using his growth synergy in his pose on the mural. That just screams Sakurai. Something that is a giant shout out to the Golden Sun game and franchise. There's a ton of little creative points in here that just scream Nintendo. And while again they don't confirm the leak is real, for me it shows that if this person really is a fake, they're pretty dang good at portraying this stuff in a very Nintendo way. But again, I don't think any of this is still enough to 100% confirm the leak, of course. But I am heavily leaning in favor of it at this current point in time. I feel like each day there seems to be something new that may come out to boost its credibility, even if only slightly. And if it turns out to be wrong, well, so be it. But with that said, guys, let me know in the comments below where you guys are standing on this leak right now. Are you team real or team fake? As always, don't forget to check out some of my previous videos if you have time. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications on for more future content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.